Morning. This is Dylan Giovanni with Behind the Markets. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, June 1st. Welcome to June. On and on we go. We made it to another month together. So today I'd like to talk about a few extra things that I've learned from SpaceX's filing. And I want to go over them with you because I think they're important for you to know. First of all, Goldman Sachs has won the lead role of the IPO, which is, the top spot. It's the big dog spot. They'll also be administering basically the lockup of shares, basically. Also, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citi, and JP Morgan are also listed in senior roles. And very importantly, we talked about this the other day, Morgan Stanley was listed as the stabilization agent, which is a very coveted, important role that oversees the early hours of trading and kind of making sure the stock gets off to a smooth start in the public markets. Very, very important. Because remember, you have a book of people that want to buy. You have to counter that with people that want to sell. So think of the New York Stock Exchange, like when you're matching buyers and sellers. You can't just do this electronically because it'll just blow. Who knows where it goes? So you got to manage the release. It's a manipulation, and it's supposed to be. You want to manage the release of this stuff, match the buy and demand to serve the sellers and the buyers as best as you can. And also what SpaceX is doing differently than most IPOs, most companies when they go public, but a lot of companies do it, tech companies do it anyway. They're doing a lockup ladder. Usually what happens is after 180 days, insiders and long-term holders can sell their restricted stock. Okay, boom, buy. They can start hitting the market. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of investors who make a lot of money. All they do is watch companies go public, and then they start looking at that lockup. They start shorting stock right before this lockup period expires. And they make money because when the lockup hits and everyone starts selling, stocks usually go down. So the typical lockup's 180 days. And then after that, you can kind of sell away. But here, SpaceX is going to allow employees to sell even before that, portions of their holdings, even before the traditional 180-day lockup. So current, and I have the notes here, current and former SpaceX employees, as well as most other insiders, are going to be able to sell as much as 30% of the portion that the company set aside for this by the fall. What about 3 months instead of 180 days instead of 6? 20% after the first earnings release date, and another 10% if SpaceX's stock is 30% above the IPO price. And, importantly also, they'll be able to sell additional 7% of those shares in regular increments between 70 and 135 days after the IPO, and another 28% after the third quarter earnings period. Now, this is very, very important. You have a lot of buyers, then here you're going to have a lot of stock coming onto the market. So you're going to see a lot of stock coming onto the market from insiders, really a lot of employees, people that have been grinding for this company for almost 20 years. It's kind of crazy. Now, to his credit, Musk agreed not to sell any shares until at least a year following the prospective, and certain big investors also agree to that too, without saying who they are, really. So, again, for those of you who like the inside baseball, who appreciate the game of it, this is going to be a clinic by the best bankers in the world. You have Goldman and Morgan really running the book. You're going to see this done if they do it the way they want to do it. There's going to be very elegant dance going on behind the scenes, really, to bring it out, to make everybody happy. Again, you're trying to make different constituencies happy. The insiders trying to sell their stock. You're trying to make retail investors, people who buy it at the IPO, you're trying to make them happy. It's a very complicated dance. And when a bunch of shares are going to hit the market, you've got to manage the release of those additional shares. So again, they don't sink the stock. Also, where can you get SpaceX stock? That list has expanded. We talked about, look, right now, and the filing said Robinhood, fintech firm SoFi, and then traditional brokerages like Schwab, Fidelity, and Morgan Stanley's E-Trade. So those are the places. The list is expanded. that are in the filing. Again, anything can change, but by the time it makes it into the filing, it's kind of largely a done deal. So if you have an account at Robinhood, SoFi, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or E-Trade, I'd be calling my rep up. If you're interested in getting this stock at the IPO price, I'd be calling my rep up and saying, hey, boom, 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 this is what I want. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I do have a quick programming note. I will not be here the rest of the week. We're going to be we have a bunch of great stuff planned for you. I will see you next week. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful day. I'll see you when I see you.